Hi, Lacey Philippich here from Money School, and we've had a reader question from Sebastian. He's at that stage of his life where he's trying to save for his first home deposit, and he's interested in not just the typical 10 ways to save more kind of thing. What is the mindset you need to have, and what kinds of mindsets are out there to help you save and save a lot so that you can get into the housing market? And I think it's a fabulous question because mindset is a huge thing when it comes to saving. And I find there are two extremes that get characterized most online and in the media for saving. And the first one is the really low material costs way of living saving. The idea that we spend way too much money on things that we don't need, and therefore we live to the extent of our means. And these people challenge that idea and try and say, well, do you really need that stuff? Do you really need a car that nice? Do you really need to live in a house that nice? Do you really need that kind of meat? Do you really need those clothes? That kind of stuff. So people that are very popular in this sphere are the Frugal Woods, Mr. Money Mustache, that kind of thing. Those people basically live on the idea that you don't have to spend as much money as people think they need to have a decent quality of life. And they do that, I guess, through a few ways. They tend to find alternatives and challenge themselves with everything. So whenever they think they need to spend the money, they try and find a way not to spend the money. Can they, exchange something? Can they get it for free? Can they do without it? That kind of thing. And I guess they push their limits with that kind of stuff. The second thing is they always save first. It's very clear that these people always think saving is the first thing that you do. Pay yourself first, and I tend to agree with that. That they don't have leftovers and then save those. So it's not a case of they get the income, they spend what they need to, and then it's left over. Pretty much everybody saves first. Pay yourself first, okay? And then they make what's left over stretch. So that's the first extreme, people who are very frugal, hence the Frugal Woods, who just don't need to live on as much money as most of us think that we do. And they prove that it is possible to have a nice lifestyle, a good quality of life, happy family, and be healthy without spending as much money as the average person does. So that's one extreme. The other extreme that I see, which is quite popular, and I think, Ramit Sethi and people like that tend to popularize, is the idea of you just need to earn heaps of money and then saving is not hard. So it's this idea that people focus, I guess, on, the frugal people will focus on their spending. They'll spend less. The advocacy from this side is earn more, which is the other side of the equation, right? That's the two choices you've got when you're trying to save. You either spend less or you earn more if you want to increase your savings. And they tend to think of earning more because it's more fun. Try and increase your income and then don't worry about how much breakfast costs or how much that car is. Have so much money coming in that you don't have to worry about it. And that's certainly a viable option if you're willing to put in the work and the time, and you can find yourself a career that is going to be lucrative and you can work towards how to make that happen. Now, I stumbled on that accidentally. I didn't really focus in my career on trying to earn lots of money, but I ended up in a career that did earn me lots of money. And as I became aware of that opportunity, then I focused on it, I worked hard on it, and now I negotiate pretty hard to make sure that my rates are quite high. And the result of that is I earn, 3 to 4 times what I would have earned being an employee 48 weeks a year. In a management role at a mine site, I can earn a lot more in terms of hourly rate if I do it as a consulting job, which means for me, I work less hours. I would rather, I would work less hours to achieve the same income rather than earn heaps more money and then extend my living that way. But some people would say, try and get as much money as you possibly can, earn as much as you can, and then you don't have to stress about saving. So those are really the two mindsets. You can do both. It's certainly possible to be controlling your spending and watching that while also trying to increase your income. I think the middle ground that seems to work best for most people, I think, is just this first thing of pay yourself first. It has to be your mindset. You have to pay yourself first. It is essential. If you don't, if you only ever save the leftovers, you'll find there's not much left over because of human nature. So that would be my advice for you, Sebastian, is to have a think about which one you relate more to and which mindset you would rather follow and how can it work for you. As a general principle, I would say save first, save aggressively. A lot of people talk about this 10% of after-tax income. I reckon start at 20%. You can always take it out of your savings account. If it's in savings, you can access it. Once it's spent, it's gone. So save as aggressively as you can, make it a habit and get it happening now. And then challenge yourself. Can you earn more? Can you spend less? Thanks very much for that question, Sebastian. It was great to hear from you. If you've got other questions for Money School, for myself or for Fran, please let us know. We are happy to answer them. Cheers. Bye.